The business started in 1948 by my father. We were living in Bathurst at the time. He had a rural supplies and machinery business, and one of the agencies he had was the Lightburn concrete mixer. Before ready-mix concrete and after the war, everybody wanted to pour concrete for their houses and foundations and things. And they kept on asking him to borrow it. And he said, "No, I won't lend it to you, but I'll hire it to you." And that was the start of our hire business. We moved to Sydney in 1951, and he restarted the business from there. And I certainly remember times with him, and in the early days it was a great source of earning pocket money for cleaning the concrete mixers. When I left school, I then worked in the business when I was very young for a year, decided I wanted to change, so I went out and worked in a couple of businesses for a little while, went overseas, and by this time my brother had bought Dad out of the business, and he asked me to come back and manage the hire business, which I did. But then when I came back through America, I saw what they were doing in the rental business over there, and that's what really inspired me and gave me a vision of what could happen in the rental business. And I think that they were probably 20 years ahead of us at the time. And so I came back and saw this pretty second-rate, scruffy business and said, well, we've got to sort it out. And so that was my job, and we did it very quickly, and it gave us a great start in the industry because nobody else was doing that. We were the leaders. What we've done that my father inspired us, I guess, was that he was straight, he was honest, he was open, he was a great salesman. He really engaged people in a conversation and ended up selling them something. And I think that the thing that we've really learnt about business is that if you're straight and honest and you're not trying to pull anything over people's eyes, then they like doing business with you. And I think that's probably what we learnt from Dad. Yeah, we didn't know anything about the FBA until about 8 years ago. And my brother Nev and myself were in business for 27 years together as partners. We had a great relationship, we worked well together, but our interests were moving apart. We had started the self-storage business in Australia. It was Nev's idea, and he had started that, and that's where his interest was. In 1991, we decided that with the next generation coming through, we were concerned that they may not get on as well together as Nev and I had, so we decided to separate. And we did that financially in 1991. It was a total separation. If we had known about the FBA at that time, I wonder whether that might have been different. It might have been that we could see the big picture about the family sticking together and growing both businesses side by side and doing both well. So I learned about the FBA about 8 years ago when I was actually invited to talk to the FBA down in Hobart, and I talked and stayed at the conference and started learning a little bit about it. We joined and went to a couple of more conferences and started to understand it and learn more about the issues that we didn't even know we had or that we may have. And we actually then started getting involved in, we had developed a process of identifying our values, which we did, and that was a couple of year process as a family. Then we developed our Kennard's family charter, and that was a 2-year process to develop that, and I think we're up to version 8 or 9 now to where we're reasonably happy with it. We then developed a deed of family arrangement, which is a formal legal document about any changes in ownership that may occur. So we've gone through quite a structure to get to the stage where we think that we've got a fairly good set of documents and understanding between all members of the family as to where we are and where we'll be in the future and how to handle issues that might come up in the future. Our priorities in FBA over the next few years are to certainly make sure the government knows us and hears us, but we also we have some ambitions within the FBA itself to grow to multiply, I think, the number of members we have. We're growing substantially at the moment. FBA is in good shape. We have a wonderful group of executive officers that are doing a fantastic job. As an organisation, we need to just grow. And we're doing that, first of all, by aggressive marketing and adding members, but we're doing it also by adding a lot of services and support for them. So we've got a whole educational stream now of services for them, and that's really proving popular. The directors course, the leadership course, the strategic management course. There's a number of courses like that. We've got an academic stream now where we're encouraging academics to write papers, and we've just had a symposium which was very successful. We're just really providing more and more services to members. Our forums group is a fantastic FBA forums. It's just so good for members. I have 2 sons in them and they just love it. They get so much out of it, and I can see them maturing and developing by being in the forums group. The forums group itself is growing as a big part of FBA. And of course the annual conference, well, that's just so good. And this year we've got the biggest ever in Western Australia. It just shows that I think people are really getting so much benefit from the fantastic speakers that we're having and fantastic seminars that we're having at the conference.